FishTankTV.com, Bros Aquatic Universe. What's up, guys? I'm kind of sick, as you can tell. But anyways, making this video. I got a whole bunch of shit going on with these tanks, man. Well, I should say with my hobby itself. Some cool stuff, man. I guess we'll start off with the simplest. So I went to Petco yesterday, right? I had this little 2.5 gallon like hexagon aquarium, you know, tiny little sucker. Didn't really know what to do with it. I was going to use it as a breeding tank, you know, and then it was like, well, I haven't seen any eggs, so it's just kind of sitting there. So what am I going to do with it? So I stuck it outside and I dirted it. And I'll show you guys about that in another video, but and what I was going to do is, like, whenever I cut trimmings off out of here, you know, so like this Cambodia, whenever I cut that, or Ligudia, I think that's what this is, but you know, whenever I do trimmings or, like, you know, want to get rid of a plant or something, it's just so that way I'm not throwing away, like, you know, plants, you know what I'm saying? So I can just take a plant, stick it in there, you know, outside, and it should be fine, at least until, you know, if I can find somebody who wants it, cool, you know, or whenever I stop by the fish store next, I'll just drop it off there and get a couple bucks for it. So I just got real tired of throwing away freaking, you know, plants and stuff. So but I went to Petco, right, and I don't normally shop at Petco, but I went there, and just because my fish store is like a grip away, it's like an hour there, hour back, and so I just assumed not go there. And I got some plants that I really kind of didn't care about, because I needed plants to put in the aquarium, the little 2.5 I got outside, just so that way I don't have an algae problem. Because if that's just sitting with just water, and I'm gonna get algae, you know what I'm saying? So I just got, just got some plants from Petco, and they had a whole bunch of sales, like buy one get one free and stuff. So I got a couple more plants, and I thought they'd fit in there, but they didn't. So they're in here now. I got some Java Fern, and if anybody knows what this is, man, let me know. I mean, it looks just like a chain sword, you know? But chain swords don't usually get this big. This thing's like, you know, I don't know, about a foot tall, at least. And actually goes all the way up to the top. It's got these little things that are like flowers that float across. Sounded pretty cool. I thought it looked pretty cool, so I was like, what the heck, why not? I'm worried that it might not be a true aquatic, but if anybody knows what this is, that's the other reason I shop at Petco, man. I got a whole bunch of plants that they don't even know what they were. So, and I couldn't even tell what they were. I think they sell a lot of non-aquatic plants there, but so I'm always worried about buying plants from Petco that don't, you know, you've never heard of them before. But if anybody knows what this is, man, it's real cool. It's just got these like leaves like that, you know, you can kind of see that one right there. And then it has like some little branches, some flower stems that come up, and they sit on the water. And I just put this guy in here yesterday, so it hasn't bloomed or anything, but yeah, so, you know, it'll just sit on the water right there. And I guess it has a flower or something like that that just floats across the water. But if anybody knows what this is, let me know. That'd be sweet. I also got this. I was thinking this was Ligudia. They had it floating around the tank, and none of my fish stores in Denver have Ligudia. They all ran out and whatnot, so and I wanted some, and I don't know what kind this is, though. I'm thinking it's Rippins, but it's too hard to tell. I almost thought it was narrow leaf for a little while, but these bottom leaves are kind of round and big, so I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it's Rippins. It doesn't look like Ovalis, because I think the Ovalis have the shorter leaves. They don't quite come out like that. Like the whole leaf is just kind of like round, and so. But I'm not sure yet. If anybody knows, let me know. That'd be cool. I'm still trying to identify that crap in the back. Looks like seaweed. Anybody knows, let me know. Yeah, so that, some other stuff, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I got this power head in here, right? And that is to make surface agitation. See, so I got all this surface agitation. And if you haven't already guessed why, well, it's for this. Bam. I had to do it, man. And I had to because here in Colorado, man, my pH sits really high. It sits at like, 8.5 or something like that. And I've done everything, man, peat, wood, everything, and nothing that I can do will reduce my pH. So I'm actually using CO2 to reduce my pH, which is pretty cool. So I basically got forced into using CO2, because otherwise I wouldn't have used it, because it's not, it's dangerous stuff, man. I'm nervous, dude. I didn't sleep very well last night. Because yesterday, I just put it on yesterday, and I was up all night checking this thing, checking the pH and stuff, making sure it wasn't dropping too low, and just keeping my eyes on the fish. And so it's been about 24 hours now, and everybody seems to still be here, which is good. But it's pretty nerve-wracking. And trying to get my recipe right. I didn't show you guys that because I'm not a very good example. I've never done CO2 before. So I didn't show you guys my CO2 recipe because I didn't want you to follow it as a guideline, because it's not a very good guideline. I don't even know if it's going to... I made it and I had to dilute it, so I diluted it, and I think I diluted it too much. I'm probably going to be making a few recipes the next few days, going to be redoing this. I don't know, I just moved it and like, it's not even bubbling. I don't even know why. Well, it is bubbling because I got it in a bubble counter too. And it is bubbling. I don't know if you guys can see it bubbling. See it? So, but it's not coming out of the shiznit yet, the Airstone or whatever. And I just got it running on an Airstone. Looks like crap back there. I got it mounted to like this thing, but I'm not really worried on looks. So, and that's the other thing I got going on, man. So, I never really told you guys, well, so my fish tanks and stuff, I do like try to do some aquascaping and stuff, but at the same time, I like to be able to do whatever I want with my tanks. Does that make any sense? So, like CO2, if I want to put CO2 on it, I'm going to put CO2 on it. And yeah, maybe this like hose coming out of here looks like crap, and that little plastic piece down there looks like crap. I'm still going to do it. Yeah, I'll try to make it look prettier and whatnot, but I'm not too worried about ruining the aquascape, like, I mean, I'm not going to put like some giant ugly looking thing in here probably, but I'm not like massively like in touch with the aquascape of my tank, if that makes sense. Like, look at this, I got this like rippings up here in the middle. And that was actually because I ran out of no space, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not too worried about it. I don't have another place to put it, so I put it there for right now. And I am going to make another place for it and get it in a good spot, but I'm willing to do that is what I'm saying. A lot of people, seems like a lot of people aren't willing to like do that, like if they got this plan or whatever, but there's not room for it yet, then instead of putting it in there, they'll just throw it away or something. It's like, I don't care, dude. I'll stick it in my foreground. You know what I mean? I'd stick like a big old Amazon sword right here. If I was going to put them in the tank and it just didn't have a space yet, I'd put it right there. Why not? You know what I mean? I'd move it eventually because that probably just wouldn't work very well, but, I don't know. I use my tanks for experimenting a lot too. So, like I'm experimenting with the CO2 and like, it's kind of like something that needs to be able to change. Does that make sense? Like I don't want a tank that I cannot adjust at all. So, but on that note, well, so I do have plants kind of in different places, which I am going to move this around and rearrange it, and hopefully when I rearrange it, it'll look better. And and this Anacris is starting to grow, in the back here. It's going to cover all this, and this Cambodia will come up too, and so it'll look better. You know, I'm going to move this Ocelot sword over here in the corner, take this Liguidia, put it right here, and that Rosette sword. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that little Rosette sword yet. I don't know, I might stick it right there. This stuff is kind of gnarly. I want to move it back, but I don't know that I'm going to. Because I have this little Tiger Lotus right here. You can see my Pleco underneath. And I have that growing, and I want that to grow, and it needs to get light, and I don't want to block it in. That's why this space right here is kind of bare, because I'm waiting for that to get tall. Because I got it, man, and it was just super short. So waiting for that to get tall before I do a whole lot of planting around it. But I don't know if you guys can see this. This is my Rotella indica, and it's growing like crazy directions, man. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I've got like stems coming out the side. You see that? Coming out sideways. Like this one right here is a really good example. I got this stem, and this just came out from nowhere. This is not a stem that I planted. Right? I planted these two, and this one, so I planted those two. This one is just growing out to the side, and I was kind of worried I was going to have to cut it because it was looking like it was going to grow right over my Tiger Lotus, but my Tiger Lotus raced and beat it and ended up getting taller than it before it did. So my Tiger Lotus is sitting on top of that stem, but it's growing sideways. It's growing horizontal. And so that's pretty trippy, man. There's actually a lot of those going on. I mean, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's pretty cool, man. So, and I love that look. You know, it gives it like a two-layer look, right? So I got up top and down low, which I think looks really cool. You know, so you're not just looking down here and seeing bare stems. So that's pretty sweet, man. I like that. But yeah, so got that going on. Not a whole lot going on in the 10. This crypt is doing pretty good. It's actually doing amazing. This one's starting to catch up, I think. I'm seeing some new leaves coming up, and I don't know. I haven't figured out if this is a red crypt WinDT or a green. I know this one's green, but this one has a few green leaves and stuff, which kind of. But I think they're older leaves, so I don't know. We'll just have to see. Only time will tell. Those poor Ocelot swords in the back with one leaf apiece, because my stupid butt trimmed all the dead ones. Oops. So I don't know if it's going to come back or not. I don't think it's going to make it. I haven't seen any new growth at all from those guys. So I don't think they're going to make it. I could put them in here, but I don't really care. They're pretty bulky for a 10 gallon, so I don't know. If anybody wants them, let me know. I'm not going to give those to you. They'll just die. So I mean, unless you're in Colorado or whatever and you want to come pick them up, I'd be happy to give them to you, and you can try and see if they'll work, or we can meet somewhere or whatever, but, yeah. So, but my main thing that I wanted to talk about that's really cool is I got a buddy of mine, real good friend, who, you know, he's like an engineer, used to work for NASA. He's one of the top scientists on, like, the mission to Mars, and he basically told NASA to go fuck themselves because, you know, they got a whole lot of, you know, he basically thinks they're all corrupt and stuff, which, you know, they got a bunch of shit going on, but, so anyways, what does that have to do with the aquarium stuff, right? Well, he just recently, he got into lights and stuff. Brilliant guy, man. He lives up in the mountains, right, here in Colorado, and he's got this, like, mad scientist lab. He's got, like, a warehouse with just tons and tons of stuff in it, right? Like, just electronics, lasers, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. We call it the Mad Scientist Lab. It's pretty crazy, man. He can just make all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyways, he's big into lights. He's getting really big into lights. He's always got like lasers and stuff like this. And I was talking to him about lighting. You know, it got brought up because he came across some metal halide lighting, and so it got brought up. I got to keep it quick, but I'm gonna be doing some experimenting with him, and we're gonna see if we can't build some lights, doing experiments with like LEDs, all different kinds of stuff. See if we can't find a cheap alternative to lighting, and something that'll work good. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Gotta run though. If you got any questions, let me know. Catch you later. Peace.